let's talk about that Donkey Kong Bananza Direct. I'm going bananas over here. Tigo's going crazy.
There's a banana here.
There's a banana over here. We have so much to talk about this crazy Nintendo Direct. It was super awesome.
One of the best Nintendo Directs we've seen in a long time. Donkey Kong Bananza, we look forward to it. Be sure to subscribe and hit the intro. Let's talk about Donkey Kong Bananza.
So let's talk about the elephant in the room, or the Kong, or the monkey in the room.
Yes. Yeah. And unfortunately, we don't have any Kongs or monkeys in this room because we don't have a Donkey Kong plush animal.
Not yet.
Not yet. I mean, we have many. Oh, you know what? Let's get a plush animal this month. You know, we need one before the Nintendo. I mean, before the game gets released.
Yeah, so lots of merch on the Nintendo website, by the way. So yeah, lots of DK merch. So.
Yes, I'll take a look at Temu for Donkey Kong plush animals, and you go on the official Nintendo website, and let's see who's the happiest at the end of the month, or at the middle of the month, because this game is going to be released on the 17th of July. But we do have a banana over here, right next to Mario, where it belongs.
Yeah.
Yes. So, let's talk about the Donkey Kong Bananza Direct. It was amazing. I watched it 4 times in total. What is your opinion? What was after watching this Direct, how do you feel?
Yeah, I thought it was very cool, very interactive. I thought it was better than the Mario Kart Direct. You really saw new things, new characters, moves. Just went more in depth, and I really enjoyed it. Actually, it's almost 20 minutes. It's over already.
Yes,
it went
indeed.
So fast.
It went super fast, and I was indeed. There were some shocking moments. I was like, "What the f is happening? What in the bananas?" I was, going bananas in my mind.
Bananas.
I was going Bananza. Like, what's happening? So, let's start off with the moves to smash and bash, as Nintendo themselves would say. So there are some moves. The graphics were very nice, put into into this trailer. Like, okay, these are the moves. And at this moment of the trailer, I was thinking, like, okay, yes, we saw this all already, but sure, it was still done very nicely. The moves of Donkey Kong, because up to this point, of course, we knew, like, okay, you're gonna dig in this game, but what else? Okay. And so at this moment in the Direct, when we saw all these moves, it was like I felt a little bit like, okay, cool. Yeah, sure. You can punch.
Yeah.
It
looks beautiful, though.
It looks beautiful. It looked amazing. You can dive punch, so dive deep, whoosh. And depending on what kind of
what kind of terrain, the hardness, and depending on the hardness of the terrain, it
goes down deeper, just like in real life.
Yeah.
Just like in real life. I mean, if I would, punch with my fists, right here through this floor, I would make a pretty big hole. Yeah, but if I would do it, for example, outside on the grass, well, the hole would be much bigger. It would be insanely big, with this fist right here. So, but I'm not doing that because I'm raised, by my parents. Thank you. So that's the dive punch. Roll forward, alrighty. And at this moment, okay, cool, all these moves, I was not impressed by the Direct yet, at this moment. I don't know about you, but okay, cool, all these moves, sure, I want to see something new. But yeah, roll punch, hand slap. Well, let me show you how that looks like. Tear off. Well, Hey, nice shirt, by the way. That's an eagle.
It's an eagle? It's a crow.
It's a crow.
It's a crow.
That is funny. Well, because yesterday when I was on the bike, I was delivering food, as I do, for this Just Eat takeaway, or in Dutch we call it thuisbezorgd. And there was this crow that really was like, okay, fuck you. And he just went in between my tires, in between my front and back tire, this huge crow. And I was going very fast, but he was not scared at all. And I was like, whoa! And I was on the phone with my mother, and I was like, what the fuck? Because this crow, I almost ran out, with my bike.
Oh.
Yeah. And that crow, he's not afraid, I should be afraid of him. I was afraid also, but I was afraid that I killed him also. But also whoa.
Whoa. Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah, but crows are smart. And it's funny that you wear this shirt right now.
It's a very smart animal,
Yeah. He's very smart, but also, he has a death wish, kind of. Anyway, so the tear off.
Yeah, so
I want to tear off this crow from your shirt. Do you see it in the camera, actually, viewers? I'm not sure, but yeah, there's a crow right here.
It's a little bit too dark, but yeah.
Yeah.
Well, if you know what it is, from which which anime this is, write it down below in the comments, please. You get 10 points.
I wish I could get 10 points because I have no idea. Because I would say maybe Game of Thrones, but that's not an anime.
Not an anime. Also not One Piece, not Karasu from. Well, you don't know this, maybe.
You wanted to say something about the tear off move, like?
Yeah, the tear off move. I think it looks very cool. Like you tear off this terrain, and you can.
That's the move.
You tear off like a piece of rock.
Yeah.
And with this piece of rock, you can also smash the terrain even more. You can throw this piece of rock. You were mentioning that you can target someone with that piece of rock.
Yeah, throw is still coming.
Oh,
and indeed, I was mentioning that in the previous take of our podcast. Indeed, Remco, very good, because we indeed already recorded this podcast before, but then my mic was off, so you can't hear my lovely voice, and now you can, ladies and gentlemen. So welcome here, and if you can hear my voice, press like, please. So yeah, we will get to the aiming and throwing part. The tear off move, yes, you can also indeed smash pointy plants or anything, weaker terrain, enemies even, with this rock that you tore off the ground.
Yeah, you can just swing it around, and but the terrain has to be softer or weaker. So then it works.
Yes.
You can also see, like, the more you use the piece of rock, it becomes a little bit smaller also.
Okay.
It breaks down. Yeah.
You really analyzed this Nintendo Direct, I see.
Really cool. Yeah.
Next is swing. I'm not sure what move it is, but it's maybe some swing dancing. Oh,
yeah, you swing with the piece of rock. Yeah.
Alrighty.
Or you can dance with the piece of rock.
Maybe Donkey Kong is a swinger. We don't know. Let's get back to that subject in a moment. Chunk jump. So that is when he has this piece of rock, He sure likes his rocks, and he throws it down, and by throwing it down, he gets speed and jumps in the air.
Yeah, that looked really nice. Gains momentum. Like,
he gains momentum, indeed. Those are the words I was looking for.
Nice jump.
Then comes the move you were talking about. Throw. Yeah. You are a volleyballer, by the way, right?
Yeah, so it's like a serve. Like,
yeah, but you also throw, or you don't throw in volleyball?
No.
Okay.
If you do that, no.
I'm not. Yeah. Oh no, you just smack the ball.
Yeah, I'll throw the ball to someone, but not in game. No.
Yeah.
If I do that, it's a point for the opponent. So yeah. It's not allowed.
Okay, so Donkey Kong is not a volleyballer, but he's more like a basketballer then, right?
Basketball or handball, or I don't know.
Yeah. Turf serve.
Yeah.
So again, with this piece of rock, I wonder, like, can it also be like a tree or something? Like, does it have to be rock? Can he grab other stuff as well? But okay, piece of rock. He uses it as a surfboard.
That's very cool. Yeah.
On water and on land also, I think a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Also on
water,
land, because you see that move. And then all the tiny M&M kind of animals, like were
exploding.
Yeah, stuff like that. And last move I see written here is make music.
Yeah, that's for Pauline, right?
I'm just checking the Nintendo Live website right now because I was looking for a move list. And Nintendo Live, thank you very much for making this list.
And also one thing you also mentioned in the previous take, we were talking about.
Let's not talk about the previous take, please, Remco. Okay.
No, but you can also like stack these rocks. You were talking like you can stack them.
Hey, they forgot.
They forgot that move that you can stack them like a little bit like Tears of the Kingdom, like.
Indeed. So, for example, in the trailer you see this sand world. Donkey Kong is making like a bridge, kind of, from these sand rocks. He's like throwing, these sand rocks, and then eventually you can make like a bridge or, a pathway, I guess, or an island like we do here in Amsterdam. Like the Dutchies, they make their island. So Donkey Kong is just making like an island, and eventually. We'll get to that. He'll make his own getaway, on this island. Maybe that's even possible, but that's for a couple of minutes. In a couple of minutes.
And one last thing about the moves, because the moves, we talked about them right now.
Yeah.
But you can also increase like the power or the potency of these moves. So if you like beat like a level, you get these points, and you can use these points to make certain moves better, and this way everybody gets a different kind of gameplay. So Tycho, for instance, is gonna do like a maximum serve. For me, I'm gonna do like maximum punch, or you can. But it's still not clear how many points you will get if you can max out everything, or just a few points like 10, 10, 10, all the
10, 10, 10.
Yeah.
You're right.
I don't know.
That's not clear. So are we at the end equal, or are we at the end like depending on what we prefer, our characters? Yeah. I hope the latter, actually. That would be better. But I think knowing Nintendo, maybe it's going to be equal, actually. Like at the end, all 10, 10, 10. I don't know.
It would be more fun if it's not equal. Then you have to really make a choice. Like, okay, which move I'm gonna increase? What is gonna be my signature move?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. So that's, I guess, it about the moves. Let's get to the next. So Bananza Transformations. So in this game, this is the part where the Nintendo Direct got interesting. Of course, also it was nice to see this rock change into this teenage girl named Pauline. But when the Direct really got interesting for me was the Bananza Transformation. So, because that's the big thing about this game.
Really cool.
Donkey Kong can transform, just like back in Donkey Kong Country when he was transforming into a parrot or a rhino or a swordfish. Now he's transforming once again, but this time, rhino.
Rambi.
Yeah, that's his name. Yeah, but this time, Donkey Kong's transformations are very monkey-like, because in the older Donkey Kong Country games, the animal at least looks like, a regular animal. The parrot was a regular parrot. But this time, when I see this ostrich, I think like, wow, that's a very, very, very muzzled ostrich running around over there. He could join a muscular contest, this ostrich. That zebra over there, wow. He could, go down on Mike Tyson. Stuff like that. That's what it's different. These animals, that Donkey Kong is transforming in are very muscular, very muscular animals.
Yeah, the zebra, very muscular.
Very muscular.
But the Kong transformation, of course it's muscular, it's big.
They're all very muscular, but this one also, Did you see the buttocks of this Kong transformation?
No,
as they would say in the UK. Or in the US, the ass.
The ass. No, I didn't watch Donkey Kong's ass.
Because it was really one of the first things I noticed. And I'm not alone in this, because Kit and Krista were also watching that buttocks. I watched Kit and Krista react to this Donkey Kong Bananza Direct. And it's one of the first things that we laid eyes on. In this transformation. And, by the way, so we already recorded this podcast, but then my mic was off. But at this moment came the question when I asked Remco, but Remco, there was something that this Kong Bananza transformation reminds me of. And if you, Remco, can guess exactly what that is, then you not only prove that you're worthy of being my friend, you also prove that you're worthy of being my podcast partner. And at this moment, this happened.
Maybe something not game related. One Piece Gear 4.
Exactly.
Yeah. Oh, I'm good. Oh,
you are my best friend. No, this is true.
Oh, nice.
You are 100%. This is what I was thinking when I was watching this. Yeah. I was watching this Nintendo Direct and I thought, this is Luffy.
Gear Force.
So, very proud of you.
Thank you.
And that's what happened when my mic was off. But as you can see, I was happy. I even gave him a high five, and that hardly ever happens.
Crazy.
It was crazy. It was. The high five was okay. I feel like it was a little bit. But
yeah, we can do it again. Well, yeah,
we can do it again. Maybe at the end of this podcast. Yeah. You stay.
You stay here right now.
You stay here. You better listen. Very good. What else about these Bananza transformations?
Yeah, but these transformations are based on these elders that are in...
Oh, I forgot. Yeah, of course. So that's a very important
part. 3
of
them? Yeah, or more, probably. But
Yes. We saw 3 of them, and my prediction, what I said in the previous take, which we did it for 31 minutes, guys. Anyways, in every layer of the world, probably there will be another elder. And because Donkey Kong is, and Pauline, they're traveling through these new layers till they reach the core of the planet, aka the planet core.
Planet core.
So And I feel that there's an elder in every layer. We saw 3 of them, but of course we're not going to spoil it all. So there's going to be like 10 probably or something, and 10 ways for Donkey Kong to transform. 10 Bananza Transformations.
Well, that can be a lot, yeah. But
I feel like 10 is like a number, 8 could also be, but 10, 12. And what I feel that Nintendo is doing this more often in certain of their games, that with these transformations, like in, for example, Princess Peach Showtime, which came out last year or the year before, where she was also on every stage that she went, it was Detective Peach, or it was and now my mind is blank, but many Peach transformations.
More than one.
More than one. Detective Peach, and there were other, like every stage she went, a Ninja Peach, Ninjutsu Peach, Bakery Peach, stuff like that, really. And now I feel like, okay, Donkey Kong is getting the same, treatment. Like, let's make Donkey Kong, and what's next? Like, Wario gets a game and he's gonna transform, like, it's, of course, it's a nice thing. I feel like,
it's nice. It gives a new dynamic to the game, also different kind of gameplay with games.
And of course, Donkey Kong was first, because he was already transforming back in the day. So actually, they're not stealing it from Peach.
No, he was first.
Yeah, he was first. And about those graphics, by the way, because many people feel like it looks like Mario Odyssey, right?
Yeah, but I've read it also,
I hear and me too also. It looks quite like Mario Odyssey when I saw this Direct for the first time. I mean, when I saw the Nintendo Direct, not this Direct, but the previous one, it looked... we reacted to this live, by the way, yeah?
Yeah,
but it looked like, okay, is this the new 3D Mario? And then we saw those tiny monkeys. Okay, no, it's Donkey Kong. But, these graphics are kind of the same, which is logic, because it's just the Nintendo graphics for their Mushroom Kingdom games, like Mario Kart, Princess Peach Showtime, Toad's Treasure Trackers, Donkey Kong. It's all in the same universe.
It's connected, yes.
It's all connected. I mean, in the movie as well, right? Donkey Kong and Mario, they're in the same universe, so... but during the Nintendo Direct, I also felt like it's not just the Odyssey team that worked on this, because the sand blocks that you just now mentioned that you can make a bridge with, this reminded me of Tears of the Kingdom.
Yeah. Right.
And when I saw those graphics, the font, that's being used when you upgrade your stuff, the stats, I thought of Splatoon. This looked very Splatoon-y to me. Yes, and I know that you didn't play Splatoon yet. We're going to do that. I'm going to force you. I'm going to tie you up to that chair and make you play Splatoon. Yes, it's going to happen live here on this podcast. If you want to see that, just subscribe. So, I feel like Nintendo grabbed, of course, they grabbed a few people from Odyssey. They grabbed a few people from maybe the Splatoon team. And maybe a few from Tears of the Kingdom. Let's get this new DK game going, guys. And at the moment of filming, we don't know what studio made this game yet. People are really interested in knowing this. I never really paid attention that much to like what studio of Nintendo is making this game, but apparently it's a thing. And I smell that someone is smoking a cigarette, one of my neighbors, and the smoke is coming inside right now. Delicious. So on to the next co-op mode.
The co-op, that was really interesting. So you can play co-op, and at first we were thinking like, oh, it's a single player game, but now you can also do co-op, and you have this this little Pauline, 13 years old, on your shoulder helping you. But it's a fun new feature, the co-op, but it's basically what Pauline does, she shout out words and she can then alter the terrain also, and I think that's it. And
I mean, those words are becoming physical letters which are attacking enemies or terrain, and you say it's interesting and fun, but I feel that it's probably very boring and maybe a little bit overpowered when those words are actually hurting the enemy. We'll see. But it's okay, but I'd rather it would be more fun if it was split screen and I was Donkey Kong and you were Pauline, or vice versa, of course. And that we would actually be playing, with the character, and then, finishing the game.
Tied up. It's quite similar actually to the Mario game Bowser's Fury. And then you can also play co-op, and you have this Bowser Jr. who He's on a cloud, like doing stuff, and
yeah, you can hardly do anything.
yeah,
And also in Mario Galaxy, of course, you had the same mechanic, and then the other person can just, I don't know, shoot stars. And in Odyssey, maybe also, I don't know, like maybe one person could do something. So yeah, it is co-op, but more for like love couples, when maybe one person likes to play games and the other person like, yeah. But even then, you would not do that to your partner. So I don't know. You know, this kind of co-op is more like if you have a kid that doesn't know how to play games, then, you know, maybe your kid is 3-4 years old. Sure, you know. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe, but
I don't know. So yeah,
I'm done with co-op.
I'm done with this co-op. You
Yeah.
know, I want real co-op, like in Split Fiction. I want to play that. And 3D, you know, Mario 3D World, that was very nice. The co-op in that mode, that was very nice. 3D, yeah, 3D World. I mean,
That's a
for
real
me, it was
co-op.
nice at least.
Yeah.
You know, it's a very nice game. Yeah. Yes, but you know, if they're gonna make a new one, we're gonna play that. You know, it's gonna be
Okay, yeah,
nice.
sure, let's
I
do
promise you. Nintendo names it Race to the Planet Core, and I thought it was an interesting way to name. You know, this sentence, this phrase, Race to the Planet Core, as if it's a separate planet, like Planet Namek. But it's just the same planet, not Race to the core of the planet, no, Race to the Planet Core. So, all right.
Yeah, so you just dive in deeper, and then
Literally.
go to the core. But maybe it's a race, like you have to beat like the enemies to get.
Why is
Get
it
to
a
the core.
race? Yeah, why is it a race? Like, is
Yeah.
there a time limit or
I don't know.
Jordan
Yeah.
ask?
Yeah, maybe. I don't know, but
Because Pauline comes from this our world, you know, just like Mario and Luigi in the movie. And then somehow Pauline is being taken, you know, we don't know yet, by these bad guys, and they changed her into a rock, and then she comes in the Mushroom Kingdom world. You know, let's call it the Mushroom Kingdom, the DK, you know, it's the same world. Just like Mario in the movie, you know, he was in New York, and then they came into the Mushroom Kingdom, where Donkey Kong was. And Pauline wants to go back, and Donkey Kong is helping her, and that's the story of this game. But why is it a race, you know? Is there a time limit, you know? Probably not, but the person who kidnapped her locked also, you know, like, okay, so I don't really understand, and we, of course, will get to understand that as we're going to play this game. So,
yeah, I don't know. If something is locked down by the bad guys, but we'll talk about those later. But
maybe he wants to explode the whole world, the bad guys.
Yeah, maybe that's his.
But why did he kidnap Pauline also? Like, is she the one who has special powers to really make sure that he will not, you know, get his plan succeed or something? Like, why is Pauline so, like,
Why? Yeah.
yeah,
I have no
because, okay,
idea.
she likes to play karaoke and maybe join X Factor, but why does he grab her, change her into a rock and take her? I mean, did he actually send her to the world, or did Donkey Kong somehow, you know, like, because if she is the one that can stop him, he would not like Pauline to go to the planet core, right? And so maybe Donkey Kong grabbed Pauline, or the rock. You know, it's interesting, like, how did this rock end up with Donkey Kong, eh?
The Rock.
The
Odd
Rock.
The Odd
Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
That would be
Actually,
nice.
He looks like Donkey. Maybe Donkey Kong can transform into him, but they look like each other already, so...
That would be nice.
Yeah. Solid as a rock. New and familiar faces. Remco.
Yeah, so the familiar faces. So I saw Cranky Kong. He was also digging somewhere. You see the rhino Rambi. And
And at the end...
At the end, you see Diddy and Dixie, and they were
Wait,
like...
Diddy or... Not P. Diddy, right?
Oh, no, not
Okay.
Diddy. No, different Diddy.
Yeah.
This Diddy didn't do the Diddy that don't do stuff.
So Diddy...
This one was just working in the office or something. Was
office, like, behind the desk.
Yeah.
I don't know what he's doing. Like, he's getting paid in bananas, probably.
probably.
And at this moment, Donkey Kong is, you know, furious at Dixie, and he throws something at her. Not nice. So yeah, Diddy and Dixie Kong make their return, which is nice. There'll probably be little side characters also living there, and they're having a little race in some kind of mini game on a Rambi. And I say a Rambi because there's multiple Rambis. So Rambi is not his name, but it's the race, or, you know, I don't know, like a Pokemon almost.
Yeah, almost.
And by the way, totally different subject, but Yoshi is also a Pokemon, and there are valid reasons for that.
Can he evolve?
And yes, he can evolve.
Is that his final form?
No, I mean it.
Yeah?
Yoshi can evolve, and I watched a video about this, and there are valid reasons why Yoshi is actually a Pokemon.
Yeah, comes from an egg, small Yoshi, then eats something, he gets bigger. Yeah.
Yes, and there's also like with
That's
the wings, etc.
Oh, the wings, yeah.
Yoshi
You do like a mega transformation or something.
and if you look at no, but really, if you look at the Yoshi's egg and a Pokemon egg, it's almost identical.
Yeah.
And Yoshi, just like a Pokemon, only says its own name.
Yoshi.
Yeah, just like a Pokemon. He's not talking Yoshi. Yoshi, 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 Yoshi.
Well, not all Pokemon say their names.
No, but Yoshi does.
You have Electabuzz. Look up the Electabuzz sound.
Electabuzz is Electabuzz.
No.
I've heard
Look
him
it up
say
right now, guys.
I've heard him say it.
No, he says.
Yeah, but we're not talking about we're talking about Yoshi.
Yeah,
And
Yoshi doesn't say that.
Yoshi is a Pokemon.
Okay.
Convince me, you know.
Not sure about that, but I'm gonna catch it in the next Pokemon ZA.
So, familiar faces. So that's that. Rambi and the new faces. Maybe let's get to the new faces.
Yeah.
Because I didn't see Funky Kong.
No, Funky Kong. Yeah, that's what we're gonna say. Or maybe we're gonna see Funky Kong, but not yet. But
yeah, we didn't see him yet.
But the new faces, indeed.
We didn't. And okay, we did see Cranky Kong, and this made me think actually. Because people have this theory that the original Donkey Kong that kidnapped Pauline was Cranky Kong. But now you see that Pauline, as a teenage girl, you know, is here in this world, and Cranky Kong is already there, and Cranky and Donkey Kong is there. So Nintendo is just rebooting the whole story or something. This story is not something that Nintendo themselves made up also, but they're rebooting everything. Donkey Kong is a nice guy. He's not a kidnapper. And
he got his own movie. No,
not yet.
Maybe he's gonna. Maybe he's probably gonna get a new movie with Mario.
I think in 2028 probably or something like.
He's getting a whole new glow up, new series, new everything, a whole new identity, and
he is not a kidnapper.
He's not a kidnapper.
Because otherwise Nintendo would be like, you know, this kidnapping monkey, you know, is their mascot. No. He's not
not promoting kidnapping.
Yeah, no. Because in the olden times, Donkey Kong, he was a kidnapper, and Nintendo cannot take that back. Because if you look at footage from the older games from the 80s, you see, you know, the letters help, you know, H-E-L-P. When Pauline is being taken by Donkey Kong and Jumpman, aka Mario, has to save her. And I'm talking about games in the 80s, but also in the 2000s on the Nintendo DS. Mario versus Donkey Kong and the Minions or something. Pauline is screaming for help. Mario! Yeah. Donkey Kong is kidnapping her, you know. 20 years ago, he was still kidnapping her. But then suddenly, Nintendo changed its mind. And not just Nintendo, but the whole world changed its mind. Suddenly, there came this point in life when the whole world thought, wait a second. We should not, you know, discriminate. No, we shouldn't also. But everyone... you know what I'm trying to say. Yeah. You know what I'm trying to say. At this moment... I feel like it's a good moment to tell you, Remco, there's going to be a new Scary Movie. And how do I feel about that? Scary Movie 6.
I didn't know.
And how do I feel about that? Yeah, there's going to be a lot of sound outside. Yeah. Because Scary Movie is not related, but the thing that it has in common is this movie is full of jokes that are not, you know, allowed in this day and age. You know, like in comedy movies from back in the time, you know, like White Chick, Scary Movie, there's something about Mary. All those jokes in those movies... Yeah. Can't be right now because everyone is butthurt, you know. Or in Dutch, you know, sta je op iemands anders zijn tenen, huh? What was I going to say? So yes, this kidnapping, you know, like it's of course, you know, Nintendo wants to get away from this, so that's why this reboot, and I feel like maybe. First, they thought about, like, okay, let's not do the kidnapping part anymore. And then they thought, you know what, this is a good moment to change his appearance as well. Let's make him more nice. Maybe it was the other way around. Like, first they thought, okay, his appearance, and then the outer glow. I feel like that, actually.
I think so, too, yeah.
Yeah. No. And so Pauline, in this new, you know, reboot of Donkey Kong, she is friends with Donkey Kong. And maybe... Or maybe Mario still thinks that actually they aren't friends, and maybe at the end of this game, you will have to fight with Mario, because Mario thinks like, you're kidnapping this little girl, you're kidnapping, and then you're like, no, but then, yeah, and then you have to fight with Mario as Donkey Kong at the end of this, Donkey Kong Bananza,
like in the movie, also fighting in the arena, but
but there was no
different premise, was it? But
that's because there was no Pauline also there and stuff. So
we're finding other things, but
but that's something else, because maybe this is like later, because the movie is before when they first met. So this is later in the storyline. Then
but this is it could be.
It could be, but they probably will not do that.
No, it's too crazy.
It's too crazy, but I would love it. People would love it, but no. Nintendo is really, conservative, and they just want to, it's like Disney. Let's keep it clean. Let's keep it nice, and not too crazy. So you're not gonna fight Mario, because otherwise, people would think that Mario's the bad guy and blah blah blah.
No,
so it's just, Pauline is just this girl who's gonna join X Factor. She's friends with Donkey Kong, and there's no Mario in this game. And that's all good.
Well, the new characters work well.
Oh yeah, the new characters, because I don't know why.
So Pauline starts as Odd Rock. So Odd Rock
is that really the name?
Odd Rock, the purple rock there. She was inside or was transformed into.
She's also a Pokemon, maybe, but
maybe. So
just like Yoshi.
One of the first things we actually saw also in the. Like the first footage, like the first Nintendo Direct, you see Donkey Kong with this rock.
Yeah, and then Nintendo of Korea spoiled an image, and we all knew that Pauline was going to be in it. Otherwise, it would be a big surprise.
Yeah.
So thank you very much, Nintendo Korea.
Yeah, but unfortunately, they didn't spoil the bad guys. So we have like a few new bad guys.
Yes. Not just guys, 2 bad guys and 1 bad girl, right?
Oh yeah.
What you gonna do when she comes for you?
So we have the number 1, Grumpy Kong. That's like a orangutan Kong. It's also called Kong. By the way.
Yeah. Their last name is Kong. Very good, clever boy, Brad. Because of the metric system. Yes.
Poppy Kong.
Yeah.
So that's the female Kong.
You thought she looked sleek.
Sleek, yeah.
Right. That's
compared to Grumpy Kong. Like
she does look
big
sleek.
And
yeah.
And last and not least, you have Void Kong, like a very small, angry Kong.
Like he's from Madagascar. He looks kind of, but kind of like a Madagascar character, but Void Kong.
Yeah.
And because we already recorded this podcast, but my mic was off, now comes the genius thought, came into Remco's mind, and I want you to tell the viewers at home. I mean, or do I have to say something else first?
I'm going to tell, because we were talking about that Donkey Kong, he has a son, Donkey Kong Jr., and that was in like a Mario Kart game?
Yes.
Or,
at this moment, I said indeed, we were talking about all the characters and Funky Kong and Donkey Kong Jr., maybe Donkey Kong Jr., would also be in this game, like, on the wall, on the frame or something, because I think like
Easter
everything... Sorry?
Like a little Easter egg, you see him somewhere.
Yes, but you know that monkeys don't come from eggs, right?
No, only Yoshis.
Yes, and Yoshi is a Pokemon. So, like a little Easter banana, like a little wall, on the wall, like a photograph of Donkey Kong Jr. And then I thought, but wait a second, Remco. Donkey Kong Jr., if they're going to do that, if they're going to include a picture, a frame in this game, Nintendo would confirm once again that Donkey Kong is a father, because Donkey Kong Jr. is the son of Donkey Kong. And we're still going to make that video about who's Bowser Jr.'s mother. We talked about that in previous podcast, because that's interesting. Bowser Jr., who's his mother? We don't know, so we're going to dive deep. Subscribe. But if Nintendo's going to confirm, like there's a frame of Donkey Kong Jr. in this game, then the question is, of course, who is Donkey Kong Jr.'s mother? Who was his ex? Who is Donkey Kong's ex-wife, Or maybe they were not married, but...
Yeah. Or maybe it's...
they were shagging, like, woo!
Maybe it's Poppy Kong.
And now, Remco came with this genius thought, but you actually... Yeah, that's not what you said.
No, but I'm gonna say it right now.
Yeah, please. Please do.
The one... I think, it has been like many years, so Donkey Kong Jr., he grew up. And he grew up all grumpy, and maybe he became Grumpy Kong, one of the new bad guys. Like, he's so angry at his father, Donkey Kong, for not being here, and maybe stuff happened. Maybe Poppy Kong is his mother, and we don't know. Maybe there was
That is what happened. I mean, that is the thought process we had, and it's a genius thought. You know, like Donkey Kong Jr. disappeared after the first Mario Kart. We didn't see Donkey Kong Jr. for like 30 years or something. 25 years, and so where's Donkey Kong Jr.? This could be it. Donkey Kong Jr. is Grumpy Kong. It's family. It's one big family. They're named Kong, Poppy Kong.
It's Kong.
I mean, so they did get married. Donkey Kong married. Poppy Kong took the last name of Donkey Kong,
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, of course. That's how it goes. And then stepdad, well, Void Kong, that's when he became also very grumpy. I mean, look at his stepdad. Like, yeah. So Poppy Kong is the ex, this is like a theory over here, the ex of Donkey Kong. And why is Void Kong, so angry at Donkey Kong right now? Like, so maybe Poppy Kong is longing back for DK, and Void Kong is like,
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, but also, and how does Pauline is involved in all of this? Like in this
how does she
family history? Yeah.
Why is she so important in this story? Why?
Because
she's the only not Kong.
Yeah. And what does she have to do? Like with this role, like Void Kong is, of course, he doesn't like Donkey Kong because Donkey Kong is the previous lover of his current girlfriend. But Pauline, why does Pauline matter? Is she like adopted or we don't know. Okay, so that's an interesting,
interesting theory, right?
Interesting theory. And unfortunately, we filmed it already before. I cannot say that enough with my mic, which was off, and it was amazing. You should have seen the first take. So, on to the next. Getaways and Eelevators. Yeah, because it's an eel,
Oh, yeah.
Didn't you see the Donkey Kong Direct? Hello?
Yeah, I thought it was very strange. Like
Eelevators.
The elevator. So you have to use
because it's an eel.
You have to get in this elevator. And like
it's an animal, the eel, and the elevator is transferring you, from the separate worlds, that's what the elevator is doing.
Yes, you get separate world and...
Yeah, and then the Getaways, that's the name for the little house that you're able to build. Or I don't know how, but yeah. And you are able to build multiple of these getaway houses, where you can just rest and sleep and listen to your music, record tracks that you're able to collect in this game. They should add that mode in Mario Kart World, by the way. I want to listen to the tracks. So you can build multiple getaways in the same world, like in the same layer, like 5 or something. And that's interesting. That means it's a huge world. You understand?
It has to be huge.
Because in the same world, I mean, like in the same layer, you can build multiple getaways, like little cribs. Yeah, that's interesting.
That's very interesting. That's very nice. Very creative also by Nintendo to
I don't know how
incorporate that.
But
depends on how creative you are.
Yeah, like I don't know if we can make it ourselves or if you just push a button, then this standard place pops off the ground.
Yeah, maybe it's a pre-build indeed, and maybe you can just customize like certain things, like very little.
But it's interesting that you can build multiple getaways in the same layer, because it doesn't seem so big to me when I see this game, and that first island we saw in the first Donkey Kong Direct, not the Donkey Kong Direct, but in the first Direct, looks relatively small. But okay, multiple getaways, sure.
Yeah, you can dig everywhere, right? You can make rooms, you can find stuff in different terrain also.
But can you also make a getaway everywhere? That's
if you just dive in deep and make a getaway over there, or some rock formation.
I want to get away. I want to fly away. My mic is still working. Alrighty, good. Next, photo mode. One more thing. Okay.
One last thing.
Okay. Well,
one of the things they also incorporated was like a 2D or a sideway mode. So they brought that back from the classic DKs.
That's good.
That's very nice.
Yes. And Kit and Krista, indeed, they also liked it very much. I remember that now, like especially Krista. But yeah, that was like DKC. Yes, it was old school. Yeah. We saw 2 shots indeed in the barrel. Also, he was in the barrel, like riding his barrel train thing. Yeah.
Yeah, there was a nice little extra one. That was it actually.
It was nice. It's like in Mario Odyssey. They also did it very shortly. Like tiny 2D parts. I wonder in this game is it going to be bigger or not?
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah.
We have a photo mode and a DK artist mode. So the photo mode is okay, super fun. Let's do that in every game now, right, Nintendo? You can press pause and then turn the camera, put some Instagram filters on top, and then upload this photo somewhere. Oh, cool. Super cool. Yeah. Did they do that in Zelda also?
Not sure about the filters, but I thought you can like a standard photo with the Switch if you just press the button, but
not with the controller. But is there like a photo mode?
No, not specific.
Yeah, of course you can push the photo. But I can do that in Cyberpunk as well. Yeah, but
not so specific as in this
Mario Kart World.
Yeah, Mario Kart World.
Or some DK Bananza.
So that's a new thing actually. But
okay.
Not sure how many. Zelda. No, that I can remember. No.
Yeah, I also don't remember. But I feel that Nintendo's going to do that more and more often in many of their games. And then the DK artist mode, well, that is of course. Yeah, what is that? With this new mechanic of creating rock shapes and this and that. So in DK artist, you can shape something, nice, like you see in this DK Direct, DK's head, or Mario, or Bowser, or a pizza slice, or a parrot.
Oh, that, and you can also color it in also, and but you can also change the haircut of Donkey Kong and so.
Yeah, it's like the whole shape. You make the whole shape. You make the face of Donkey Kong, and then you change everything.
It's funny, but
it's funny. You can make everything. You can make like a cup, or anything. Like, of course, people are gonna make a lot of dirty stuff. I feel also,
or maybe NintenDUO on this Donkey Kong head.
Yeah, it will be very difficult to make this, but
it's possible.
Yeah, so I feel like okay, cool. People are gonna make some PG-18 stuff, and and for the rest, when are you gonna use this? Yeah,
I thought that they were already doing it, like in that Donkey Kong Nintendo Direct. Like, where's this going?
Really? The pizza slice?
No, on his head. Like,
I don't know what you do with your.
Where is this going?
Okay. So, and there is a new Amiibo coming.
Of course.
It looks pretty nice, but there's only one Amiibo in this world that I really care for, and that is Dr. Mario. Yes. You have something to say against?
No, nothing.
Okay, good. Should be like that, because Dr. Mario is the true winner, ladies and gentlemen. And petition for Dr. Mario to get an icon on the Nintendo Switch too. I mean, we need Nintendo. Come on, just give me an icon. I'll pay €30 for an icon. I'm not kidding. Anyway, so this new Amiibo, Donkey Kong and Pauline on his back, €30 comes on the release date, and by scanning, this Amiibo, it unlocks early in the game the dress of Pauline, the OG dress. Yeah.
So that gives that's the benefit. Well,
that's it.
Maybe there are more, but this is the first thing they said.
Yeah, well, that's the only thing. That's the thing that this Amiibo unlocks. I mean, and all the other Amiibos. You can also use all the Amiibos, that Nintendo made. You can use in this game. Then this ball, this ball comes in the game that you can throw against stuff. And the Donkey Kong Amiibos do other things, like the King K. Rool Amiibo and the other Donkey Kong Amiibos do other stuff. So I don't know. We don't know. We'll find out. But so I'm gonna use this Dr. Mario Amiibo, and Remco, maybe if he dares to use his Ganondorf Amiibo, we'll see what that does in the game, And I got some Splatoon Amiibos as well, so well, not really Amiibos, but you know what I mean. Temu. And I wrote down Pauline timeline, but I think we already discussed that because.
Yeah, we already discussed that she is in this game as a 13-year-old teenager. Or
Did we discuss? I mean, did we discuss it now with this mic, which is on, or in the previous take? I'm now a little bit confused because.
I think we discussed a little bit more in the previous take. We discussed also the Cranky Kong situation.
And that just now.
Yeah, we already did that.
But then the Pauline timeline, it's a little bit okay. We're going. Oh yeah, I wanted to say because it's like a reboot, and now. Pauline is younger, and I feel in Odyssey she was older, but I feel like Odyssey is already the reboot, like when it all started, like the reboot stuff. And now this is before Odyssey, and I guess that's all I have to say actually. Like it's a reboot, and Pauline will grow up. So in the next Donkey Kong game, because I feel like maybe in this game there will be no King K. Rool unless he's really the bigger villain that is hypnotizing Void Kong. And actually Void Kong is very nice, I feel like Void Kong, because Void Kong looks very evil right now. But I feel You can imagine him like with big puppy eyes, like Puss in Boots from Shrek.
Yeah.
No, really. Like I feel like when Void Kong is not hypnotized by maybe King K. Rool, if it's gonna be the premise of the story, then he becomes like with his big puppy eyes, like, oh, Void Kong is so nice. And what's Void? Oh no, that's nothing.
The Void.
Doiv. It's not.
Oh, you mean in reverse? Yeah.
It's nothing, I thought maybe it was something like an anagram.
Or
or
Void is like
yeah, I know what it is, but I mean when the letters are
doesn't
Doiv. Yeah.
It's a pigeon in Dutch, but that's
yeah, but that's almost duif and almost duff. So I think we discussed enough about this Donkey Kong Bananza Direct, right?
Yeah.
We're talking about this for 46 minutes.
That's good.
That is crazy.
Yeah, but it was a crazy Nintendo Direct.
It was a crazy Nintendo Direct. I feel like, we discussed this quite enough. I'm gonna go bananas when this game comes out. I feel like we need that DK merch, so let's,
Yeah, let's stock
we have
up on
like a
DK
month,
merch.
we have a month to get some DK merch, and
Yeah,
we're gonna play this game when it comes out, right?
yeah, of course. Yeah, it's gonna be awesome.
We're gonna switch controllers, like you're gonna be DK, I'll be Pauline, and then we're gonna switch, and the person who's Pauline will dress up as Pauline, of course. So it's gonna be fun. If you want to see that, be sure to subscribe down below.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's gonna be really fun.
it's gonna be really fun, and thank you so much for watching one of our episodes, and see you in the next one.